I swear, you'll have questions after hearing this complete story. People only find pleasure in winning, but he found pleasure in losing after winning. He never faced much difficulty in winning, but he had to struggle a lot in losing. When he was working at the bank, he had a thought that he should also have heaps of wealth, but his relatives and friends mocked this idea. However, when he left his job and went to Bombay, he soon began helping his friends and relatives with money. There were many fields for him in Bombay, but he chose the film industry. It had wealth. It had fame. In it, he could gather wealth with both hands and also squander it with both hands. Thus, he has remained a soldier in this field. He earned millions, even billions, and squandered them. It didn't take him as long to earn as it did to squander. He wrote songs for a film and took 100,000 rupees. But it took him quite a while to lose this 100,000 rupees at brothels, gambling houses, racecourses, and gaming houses. He made a film and earned 10 lakh rupees in profit. Now the question was where to squander this amount. Thus, he made every step uncertain. He bought 3 cars, 1 new and 2 old, of which he knew very well that they were completely useless. He left the new one to rot outside his house and put the old ones in the garage, claiming that there was no petrol. For him, a taxi was sufficient. He took the taxi in the morning, stopped it after a mile, and went to a gambling house. He lost 2,500 rupees and went home the next day, deliberately forgetting to pay the fare. In the evening, when he went out and saw the taxi still standing, he said, "Oh damn, you are still standing here. Come with me to the office. I'll give you the money." Upon reaching the office, he forgot to pay the fare again. Several films succeeded one after another, breaking all records. Wealth piled up. Fame reached the sky. Frustrated, he made 2 or 3 films that failed miserably, causing his own destruction and taking many others down with him. But he immediately rolled up his sleeves, helped those who were ruined, and prepared a film that proved to be a gold mine. The same pattern of winning and losing applied to his affairs with women. He would pick up a woman from a party or a brothel, make her famous, and after exploiting her femininity, would ensure she ended up in another's arms. He competed with wealthy men and beautiful young lovers, risking everything. He traversed thorny bushes to snatch his favorite flower. The next day, he would wear it in his coat and give a rival the chance to snatch it away. During these days, when he was visiting a gambling house on Ferris Road continuously for 10 days, he was obsessed with losing. Although he had recently lost a very beautiful actress and destroyed 10 lakh rupees in a film, these 2 incidents had not satisfied him. These things had slipped from his grasp suddenly. His estimation had proven wrong, and that's why he was daily losing a fixed amount of money at the Ferris Road gambling house. Every evening, he would put 200 rupees in his pocket, head towards Poon Pali, and his taxi would drive along the row of shops with iron railings. He would then get out and adjust his thick glasses on his nose, straighten his dhoti, glance to the right where a very ugly woman was busy with makeup in a broken mirror behind iron railings, and then go upstairs to the gambling house. For 10 days, he had been going to the Ferris Road gambling house to lose 200 rupees. Sometimes the money would be lost in 2 or 3 rounds, and sometimes it would take until morning. On the 11th day, when the taxi stopped at the electricity pole, he adjusted his thick glasses on his nose, straightened his dhoti, and glanced to the right. He immediately realized that he had been seeing this ugly woman for 10 days, sitting as usual with a broken mirror in front of her, busy with her makeup? As he approached the iron railings, the ugly woman smiled and put the mirror aside, saying in a very crude manner, "Why, mister?" He looked more closely at the woman, who, even at her age, seemed hopeful of customers. He was quite surprised and asked, "How old are you, bye?" Hearing this, the woman seemed a bit upset and possibly cursed in Marathi. Realizing his mistake, he said with great sincerity, "Bye, forgive me. I was just asking, but it's very surprising to me that every day you sit here all dressed up. Does anyone come to you?" The woman did not answer. He realized his mistake and asked without any curiosity, "What's your name?" The woman, who was about to remove her veil and go inside, stopped. "Gangubai, Gangubai, how much do you earn daily?" Her tone was sympathetic. Gangubai came to the iron bars. 6 or 7 rupees. Sometimes nothing at all. 6 or 7 rupees and sometimes nothing at all. Repeating Gangubai's words, he thought of the 200 rupees in his pocket that he had brought just to lose. An idea suddenly struck him. "Look, Gangubai, you earn 6 or 7 rupees daily. Take 10 from me." "Why?" "No, but you should understand that I am giving it for nothing." Saying this, he took a 10 rupee note from his pocket and handed it through the bars to Gangubai. "Here you go." Gangubai took the note, but her face was full of questions. "Look, Gangubai, I will give you 10 rupees every day at this time, but with one condition." "Condition?" "The condition is that after taking 10 rupees, you should eat and go to bed inside. I shouldn't see your light burning at night." Gangubai's lips curled into a strange smile. "Don't laugh. I will stick to my promise." Saying this, he went upstairs to the gambling house. On the stairs, he thought that he had to lose money. 190 would do instead of 200. During this time, after losing money a few times, when he came down at 11 at night, or around 2 or 3 in the morning, he found Gangubai's shop closed. One day, as usual, he gave 10 rupees and went upstairs. The cards were such that within a few hours, 190 rupees were wiped out. When he came down from the top and was about to get into the taxi, he saw that Gangubai's shop was open, and she was sitting behind the iron bars as if waiting for customers. He got out of the taxi and approached her shop. Gangubai saw him and panicked, but he had already reached her. "Gangubai, what's this?" Gangubai did not answer. "It's very disappointing that you did not keep your promise. I told you not to have your light burning at night, but you're sitting here like this." His tone was filled with disappointment. Gangubai was lost in thought. "You are very bad." Saying this, he turned to leave. Gangubai called out, "Wait, sir." He stopped. Gangubai said, slowly and deliberately, "I am very bad, but who is honest here? Sir, you give 10 rupees and extinguish 1 light. Look at how many lights are burning." He moved aside and looked at the row of shops along the street. It was an endless row, with countless lights burning in the dirty night air. "Can you extinguish all these lights?" He looked through his thick glasses at the bright bulb hanging above Gangubai and then at her dirty face, and said, "No, Gangubai, no." When he sat in the taxi, his heart felt as empty as his pocket. The shepherd's men stood on a high mound, shouting to the dense forest, "The lion is coming, the lion is coming, run." For a long time, he kept shouting. His youthful voice echoed through the air. When his throat dried from shouting, 2 or 3 old men from the village came with sticks, grabbed the man by the ear, and took him away. A panchayat was called. The wise men of the village gathered, and the shepherd's man's case was started. The charge was that he had spread false news and disturbed the village peace. The man said, "My elders, you misunderstand. The lion did not come. But does that mean it cannot come?" The answer was, "It cannot come." The man asked, "Why?" The answer was, "The forest officer sent us a letter saying that the lion is old." The man said, "But you don't know that it recently underwent a rejuvenation." The reply was, "That was a rumor. We inquired with the forest department and were told that instead of rejuvenation, the lion has had all its teeth removed because it wants to spend the remaining days of its life in peace." The man said passionately, "My elders, isn't this answer false?" Everyone said in unison, "Certainly not. We have full trust in the forest officer because he has sworn an oath to speak the truth." The man asked, "Isn't it possible that instead of losing its teeth, the lion had its eyes removed?" Everyone replied, "No." The man asked again, "Why?" The answer was, "It has a lot of trust in the forest officer's words and cannot see the lion." The man said, "I will never trust the forest officer's word." The case was decided. The shepherd's man was thrown out of the village, and the lion remained safe. He thought of this story while coming down the stairs from the gambling house and wondered what Gengubai was doing at this time. He hoped that if he reached home and found Gengubai's light burning, he would abandon this habit of losing money. He told himself he had to win tomorrow, but all his efforts were in vain. Losing had become a habit, and winning was no longer an option.